Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, dobré ráno.
Dobré ráno.
Jak se máš, Peter?
Všechno v pořádku.
To je skvělé, to je skvělé. That's fine. Sometimes I'm asking how are you doing and how well is your dog?
Jak se máš?
Jak ti žere pes?
Jak ti žere pes?
So how well is your dog? Do you have dog?
I have 2 cats.
2 cats. Excuse me. Yes. Because I have one small dog, Yorkie Terrier.
Okay.
And my dog is doing well. So once dog is doing well, all family is happy, you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's that.
Our pets are, yes, great. Beautiful, yeah. Okay, well, how about first day of training? Everything was as usual, right?
Well, you better ask students if they're happy or not.
My question is focused on if you fulfilled the agenda objectives, you know.
Yes, technically everything was good. I would like to hear more, to have more feedback from students. Like half of students never speak. So, and asking some question, basically you ask to nobody.
Yes, I would answer. I had one business meeting yesterday, and my business partner, I met him and we talk some business issues. He expressed very interesting idea that for some people Monday starts on Tuesday. Sometimes, you know, there is pronounced that Blue Monday. That means that sometimes, you know, it is difficult to start working week on Monday because after a weekend, you know, you need some time to accommodate and to switch to working mode. And he told me, yes, for some people, Monday starts on Tuesday. So probably, I hope that today our training definitely starts.
We will see, because this is not that bad, but you see, during the training, I'm totally disconnected from everything else. And after like a week, you go back to work and what?
Yes.
Basically,
yes, a lot of surprises. Yeah.
And nobody knows I am away, so they call me all the time. Like,
sending emails, no response.
At least 20 chats in WhatsApp.
But what is good, you know, that you can feel that you are still a very important person because all your workload is waiting for you. Nobody is trying to take some workload from you and to start to
yes, but you you always want to advance, like to change a little bit what you're doing. You still have a lot of simple questions and have no time to get to serious security.
I see. OK. So, dobré ráno, účastníci kurzu, jak se máte? Studenti.
A jo, fajn. Dobré ráno.
Dobré ráno.
Dobré ráno.
Jak jsem říkal, pro některé lidi pondělí začíná v úterý.
No, spíš jde o to, že já jsem jako všecko stíhal, akorát si říkám, tyjo, co tu dělám, že jsem nešel radši řídit tramvajky, tyjo.
No, co
Dobré
tu
ráno.
děláme? Co tu všichni děláme? No tak snažíme se naučit něco.
No,
Jak zvládat ty boty a umělé nástroje, prostě, které začínají útočit a budou stále více útočit. No. Tak jo. Máte nějaké otázky? Je něco, co bychom potřebovali, co byste chtěli adresovat na mě?
Já bych se možná chtěla zeptat, jak jste říkal, že budete dělat nějaký print screeny pro úřad práce, tak jestli musím mít zaplou kameru, nebo to takhle stačí?
To, co potřebujeme, je, aby na tom screenshotu bylo vaše jméno a příjmení, stejné jméno a příjmení, jaké máte na tom dokumentu, který potvrzuje, že máte přidělenou dotaci, nic více.
Jo, tak dobrý. Děkuji.
Ten stream, video stream je důležitý více pro vás a pro lektora, protože pokud vidí studenty a vidí, že nějak se kroutíte nebo prostě máte nějaký feedback nebo dáváte nějaký feedback, tak pak může nějak korigovat to, co dělá. Pokud nikoho nevidí, tak mluví do stěny, víte. A to je těžší, to je hodně těžší pro lektora, prostě, protože jeho úkolem je a cílem je nějak držet vaši pozornost a snažit se zaujít a abyste byli prostě, aby to bylo zajímavé. No a pokud nemá zpětnou vazbu přes ten videostream od studentů, tak je to hodně těžké. Tak pak střílí od pasu, víte. Takže proto je důležité, pokud můžete, tak zapněte video, ne protože chceme špehovat.
Já se omlouvám, mě by se to sekalo asi s kamerou.
Jasně, tak pak ne, pak je lepší bez. Protože pak není ani video, ani zvuk a to je úplně ta nejhorší kombinace. OK, tak když nejsou otázky, tak já se odmlčím a pokud něco, tak jak jsem říkal, mailujte a dostanete odpovědi. Okay, Peter, sorry for this interruption in Czech language. I'm trying to develop some opportunity for you to listen Czech language.
I understand at least half.
Yes, with Slovak influence. So sometimes it is Czechoslovak language, but I'm trying my best. Okay, so have a productive second day of training and see you later.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miroslav.
thank you.
All right, everybody, how are you doing today? What was kind of hard yesterday? Could you please recall this? Like, what kind of stuff was new to you? What kind of stuff was hard to understand? Maybe some parts were too quick, some parts too slow. What do you say? What's your opinion?
I think for me, exercises was too quick for me to manage it.
And you're still struggling with keyboard, right?
Yes.
Will you be able to resolve this issue during the week? Any chance? No.
And can I ask you, after this week, will be possible access to remote computer, or it will not?
Let me check the schedule. You see, calendar. Where is it? Where is my calendar? Anything? Yeah. So the next classes I have on Tuesday. So you only have opportunity to do it before Tuesday. On Monday evening, I will change virtual machines, basically like this. I'm not sure if I can prepare more hypervisors. But in case I will find one more computer, I will tell you. Anyway, we can return to this just a bit later.
I will try to manage it on my own computer, and the images from Drive will be accessible.
Yes. For at least a month. So you see, unfortunately, sometimes you need to make investment in training. Like for instance, as you might see, I have the specialized server rack bought for this case for multiple computers inside, just to perform trainings. So I made this investment. So sometimes you need to buy a PC. By the way, let me suggest to you what kind of PC it could be. I'll get to Google, and in Google, Lenovo ThinkStation. Probably no. Is it ThinkStation? Okay, Lenovo Mini PC. So I've bought multiple computers like this, provided with 32 gigabytes of RAM, 2 SSDs. You could buy like 2 terabyte SSDs, and have this computer as your like training station. In Latvia, it costs the good PC like this costs like 600 euros something. But this is not the expense. This is investment. So that's the idea.
Don't you think that there is a better option than this? Because, for example, there is MS-01 from not Microfocus. I forgot the name at the moment. But they have also SFP ports and everything. And my friend has it in cluster, 3 of them using the Thunderbolt port, and it's pretty cool, to be honest. And I'm also thinking about this. I have Ryzen 9 16 physical cores, 3 nodes at home, but this one actually is also pretty cool, and it's not that expensive, I would say.
I think your option is the best, because I like this PC. I just simply bought those PCs in pack like for 100. That's why. So that was quite cheap. I only invested in the rack with all the patch panels and everything, and power supplies, and UPS and everything. So yeah, I suppose this is really good choice for this. Yeah. And also a friend of mine also built a cluster. He tries to pass VMware and Veeam exams. So he built a cluster, built it in with optics, and everything is really cool. Yeah. And he also has printed, 3D printed, 10-inch rack. I have bought it, but he has printed. So, yeah. Anyway, this is good investment. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Could be good choice. Yeah. To before continue, and to make it a little bit more smooth than yesterday, I would like to discuss your skills. I mean, what level of knowledge you have. Could you please describe shortly what you're doing at work? Just for instance, I'm infrastructure admin, infrastructure and security manager in my company. And I provide virtualization, storages, backup services. I maintain the network. Not personally, I have a team. Yeah, I have a team of guys, and we build infrastructure services for company. And also I provide security, such as I sniff network, encrypt protocols, change configuration of computers via domain group policies, and so on. So that's my primary work. And most of hacking you see basically is infrastructure skills required for this. So the idea is that I'm not the web developer. I'm not like database admin, even though sometimes I do something of this. So that's why you will see a lot of system hacking, not, for example, web hacking. What are your skills? What you do at work? Somebody.
If I may start, my position is kind of split it in two parts. One part is Linux administrator, so I'm quite familiar with this area. And the second part is security, both attack and defense. I have some little experience even with penetration tests. So last day, the first day was quite easy for me, and I'm really looking forward for the next days, especially Windows stuff, which is something I don't understand really much.
You will receive it a lot. Yeah. Thanks. Somebody else as well, please.
Well, I can speak. Well, I'm colleague of Vitya, which spoke right now, and I'm also split it in two parts. The first part is security. So as Vitya said, we do some penetration test, attack, and defense. And the second part, I am doing some automation with network guys. So I'm familiar with networking and stuff like that. I am also doing some internal software like web and databases for us.
Thank you. Thank you. Someone else as well, please. Don't be shy.
For example, me, I'm Miroslav. I'm working at the university at the infrastructure department, and I'm working with everything like with servers, network, backups, security, because we lack of people, so I need to do everything.
And yes, just for instance, across many companies, I maintain like networks for 2,000 hosts, 1,000 hosts, maybe 500 hosts. So in total, up to 3,000 hosts, maybe. So that's the scale of this work. Thank you. Maybe someone else, please.
Okay. I'm managing infrastructure for OT systems. I have a team with 7 members, and we are, let's say, doing the operations and security as well.
Okay, thank you. So a lot of guys from infrastructure, and this is good for me because we're talking the same language. That's important for me, at least. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next module, enumeration. What is this about? Enumeration, the idea of enumeration is to get as much possible information about network resources, shares, user accounts, group policies, shares, disks, IP addresses, everything what's possible from target systems. What's different? What's the difference between scanning and enumeration? In scanning, you figure out how many hosts are there, how many ports are open, and what's behind those ports, such as, okay, port 88 is Kerberos, or 389 LDAP. What can we get from LDAP? Is it good or bad? How many user accounts can you dump from LDAP, or what? So everything you can get all the information, okay, enumerate from victim machines. Okay, so the first very simple stuff is net bias enumeration, because all the Windows machines and a lot of Linux machines and a lot of appliances support net bias. Just for instance, I had a presentation at a hotel. So some hotel in Latvia, just the building, hotel, multiple store building. And I had a presentation in their presentation area, and somewhere in the corner, I have not sniffed, but I saw that wireless is available, Wi-Fi network. All right, Wi-Fi network was working somewhere there, because there's one more building, administrative building with accountants, managers, director, and so on. Okay, good. I have connected to this Wi-Fi because it was not secured with the password. Okay, that's the first mistake from sysadmin, and figured out that there are computers inside. By scanning with Kane, I figured out that there is the domain controller, few workstations, and the barrier control system. So this is the barrier. Okay, that's the barrier, which could be easily hacked because it was available for me via NetBIOS shares. And also TV sets. So TVs located in lobby. And those TVs were NetBIOS enabled, and shares were presented for the network. And I have explored the content of those shares and figured out there are pictures such as 1 GPG, 2 GPG, and so on. I have downloaded one picture, put the red mark on that picture, and uploaded back again. Then went across the lobby and figured out that yes, the picture got changed on the TV. Was it hacking? Yes, in some way. But the lesson learned that some devices and appliances are also NetBIOS enabled. That's the idea. Not simply the domain controller, workstations, barrier control system, but also TVs and so on. So NetBIOS enumeration is quite important, and a lot of systems were hacked via NetBIOS or SMB protocol. Let me show you one example. What attackers do with NetBIOS commands. There are a few commands, everybody from sysadmins should know them, but I'd like to discuss this for everyone. So say, where's my attacker machine? An attacker machine, okay, I will magnify a little bit. So for maybe this one. I hope you see it well. Net view, the command shows a network neighborhood. Basically, it connects to so-called domain master browser and downloads a list of computers in this network. And you may say, come on, this is 20 years old technology or even more. So how it still works today? This depends on the network. In typical network, if this is the Active Directory enabled network, everything is controlled by a domain controller. Okay, And name resolution is performed by, say, DNS, and you may utilize Kerberos protocol to log into remote machines. In typical home networks or small networks, NetBIOS is still in use. If you go to network properties, network settings, adapter settings, say this adapter, if you go to IP properties, you will see that, what is it? Yeah. So NetBIOS is still enabled, and in small networks without the main controller, NetBIOS is still in use to perform name resolution, for example, with broadcasts. Okay. Anyway, so NetView may present you a list of computers, and this list is collected by master browser, domain master browser. Also, there could be one more interesting part of this. In adapter settings, there are modern protocols enabled, which is link layer, topology discovery, mapper, and responder. You could also see those protocols supported by responder in Kali. Okay, so we're not gonna go in deep dive with name resolution in peer-to-peer networks. The idea is that NetBIOS protocol is still in use, and you could utilize built-in commands such as netview or netview computer name. I don't expect this to work because I need to be authenticated first. So I need to log into the remote machine. If you, in case you have this user account, so you could use it like netuse, the name of the computer or the IP address, like CEHv13/IPC$, which is the just simply logon share. So you specify username like peer and the password of password1, so you're logged in, and then NetView will present you a list of shares, or if you specify the switch/all, a list of all shares, including hidden ones with $sign. So the question, is this anything new for you? I suppose no. This is very standard thing, but it's widely used in attacks. This is what's called living off land, when attacker does not download anything, any malware from the web. It just simply utilizes built-in commands, PowerShell scripts, PowerShell commands, or command line tools to expand in the network, to escalate privileges, and so on. So anyway, what I want to show you a few commands, such as how to log in from command line, just in case you forgot it. How to enumerate all the shares on the remote machine. There is a catch, a little catch. So if you navigate to remote computer by IP address, such as in UNC language, this is UNC path. So 2 backslashes IP address such as 172.20.208 and share name and full name and so on. Kerberos will not work because Kerberos is based on certificates, which requires fully qualified domain names such as ch-dc.ch.local, which stands for fully qualified domain name. So encryption in many cases requires FQDNs to be used in protocols such as SMB, such as RDP, such as HTTP, and so on. So if you see that somebody utilizes IP addresses in URLs, in RDP, in SMB, in UNC path, so this lowers their security. Just to know. You could check it easily by connecting to RDP, say, by IP address. And okay, I'm not in domain at the moment. So in a domain, it may present you the warning that certificate is not valid. And then you will see just a little bit later if that certificate is not valid. So basically security is gone. Okay, so next command, how to log off remote, from the remote system, like this one. So you type netuse unc path /ipc $ logon share /delete. Or say how to connect by using null session. So when you log into the remote machine by using username empty and the password empty, this is called null session. Modern Windows systems do not allow null session by default. However, I saw it like some specific manufacturers of IoT devices may ask you to enable, to lower your security, to enable null session, to enable guest account, to enable SMB1 protocol. So it happens right now in real life. And also some devices support null session. And this is how I got to basically those TVs with null session, empty username and empty password. And then you are considered to be authenticated, actually, as null user. Well, it will not work against this 2008. No, you're kidding. No. No. It doesn't work. Yeah. Well, and also you may need to know one more command: how to mount disks, such as not use CEHv13. Yeah, what drive layer K, for example, not logon. Just for example, this will not work because I'm not authenticated. Yeah, so username K here and the password 1. Now this is going to work. I suppose, because I'm already connected with null session. But anyway, so this is how it works. Yeah, one more idea of syntax is, let me disconnect. And when you specify domain user account and log into member workstation, you need to specify domain name. If you just type like this, /user account /administrator /, it means local account, or you need to specify the domain name in NetBIOS notation like this one, or on DNS language like this one. So this could be the idea. This is done during attacks in many cases. So that was the very beginning, and you may be asked on exam on syntax of those commands. So since most of you work in infrastructure, you basically know these commands, I suppose, or not. Am I too quick? Please give feedback, okay? This should be basic stuff. But just in case, you will find a list of commands in my notes. Notes are available on my OneDrive. You will see. Next.
I will just ask your OneDrive. It's not accessible. I tried today, but there was some error.
Try again. Oh, let me check.
If the link is still in use.
Should be. Try now. And that link was in previous Teams session, probably. So you could copy paste it right now in here, and let's check.
Well, the link works for me.
Okay, so should be good.
Okay, can you paste it to the chat again, please? The link.
I will paste it.
Thanks. So, well, next we go to tools which could be useful for NetBIOS enumeration. For sure, this is Nmap. So still Nmap is your homework to test most of switches, and advanced IP scanner, you saw it yesterday. Hyena, we will check it. But the tool, say, let me demonstrate one more tool. which I have used during attacks. And this is very old but still working good tool. I'm going to attacker machine. I'm going to Peter tools, so I'm navigating to drive with Peter tools. You know what? Please do it all together. This is a good idea. So on attacker machine, go to Peer tools. In Peer tools, go to CH course and launch SuperScan. It's on my screen right now, so you will see. Switch to Windows Enumeration tab and let's configure it a bit. In options, please specify username peer and the password of password1 and the host name for attack, say the domain controller. It could be the IP address in this case, or it can be your name. Tell me if I may continue.
Yeah, got it.
Ready.
Okay, good. So in options, if you do not specify credentials, you will have an attempt for null session. Okay, the only thing I'm removing from this is RPC endpoints because I don't know what to do with them. So my target is CHDC. Once again, I have specified username and the password in options, the limited username and the enumerate. And let's check the result. It may take 1 minute. And let me explain what we have in here. Waiting for you to complete this. Any success?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm completed.
Okay, good. So how to read this stuff? Okay, Windows NT 6.1, which stands for 2008 server. Good. Type server, which may point together this to a domain controller. Okay, good. All of Windows machines by default are servers and workstations on SMB protocol. Okay, good. Next, user accounts. This is the first important part. If you see admin in here, it means it has checked. So it has really admin privileges. It's not just simply text. For example, this one means limited user. This one, this account has admin privileges. It happens that the admins change this account, for example, to something else, such as CHadmin, or maybe guest, but guest is changed to administrator, and then attackers try to crack this password of guest account, but actually this one is a real admin. This is just a name, but now this is a check. Talking about comments. What is this comment? Let me show it in computer management. If you go to local users and users, you will see this description. I saw it many times that they put passwords in description of system accounts of shared accounts and some specific accounts. So sometimes you could dump password directly from this text because admin has saved password for system account, for example, Vim user and the password of password 123, whatever, and you will see it in text. So this is not good idea, but they actually do it. Next is password was changed a lot of days ago, which is also useful in many cases. During one attack, I have dumped a list of users by using a limited user account. So I have enumerated all user accounts. I have also sniffed a password from the network, but I never knew was it admin or not, or anything else. I never knew the account, just the password. And then I've tried to apply this password to every admin in a list. And I succeeded. I have selected all the admins. I have selected all admins with password changed a lot of days ago and succeeded. Just simply guessed, okay, that this account probably has this password, some specific password. Well, next, what could be interesting? Yeah, look at this. We have enumerated this account. So installer actually has admin privileges. This is interesting. This is account of the computer. So by this, you have also enumerated a list of computers, domain members. This is it with user accounts. Okay, this is very simple task. You could try it on your company maybe to figure out if there is anything interesting. For regular admin stuff, I use some other software. From this guy, CEHv13. He has a lot of interesting free software, including, for instance, AD-Tidy, which could represent a view of Active Directory user accounts in a very specific way, like to enumerate last logons, to enumerate home folders, some specific attribute. But again, this is for regular admin stuff, but also could be useful for hacking, of course, sure. So that's the developer. Next, groups. Groups are really important. Just for example, server operators are permitted to log into domain controllers. Account operators are permitted to create, modify all user accounts with exception of admin accounts. Or say admins, that's obviously interesting group. Print operators are permitted to install drivers. Install software. Backup operators are permitted to copy and restore any file. I'd say copy and replace any file. Let me show you an idea how it's done. So if you go to, say, some system, maybe SQL, whatever. Well, I like this more. So I will create new user account. In users, let it be account of Vim. And the password, whatever, password 1. It's not that important at the moment. And I add user Vim to backup operators. Backup operator is not an admin. But backup operator has interesting features, 2 interesting features. First, if you go to shares, could you please tell me who is permitted to log in and to mount default system shares, C drive, E drive, F drive, and so on. Not users, but there are two groups who are permitted to use this share: administrators and backup operators. So by abusing backup operators' permissions, you could navigate to C drives within the network. You cannot configure permissions as easily. You need special software for this. But the idea is that backup operator is permitted to log into this share from the network. That's first issue. Second issue, like say you go to a drive, you create some secret folder such as reports, and say keep some sensitive information of salaries, like manager, 10,000 euro. And you protect this folder from users by using DACLs, so access control list. Right click, properties, security, advanced. You break the inheritance. You remove everybody with exception of system admins. So now admins are permitted to navigate to this folder and see the contents. No users are permitted to get in. Now I will log in as a backup operator. As backup operator, I'm trying to navigate to this folder, reports, and see access denied. I cannot get access to this folder. I have no access. But if I go to the command line, let me check if I have this group enabled, backup operators. No. New CMD. This is not what I want to do. It's okay. Once again, do I have this group enabled? Because I see UAC is enabled, which is a bad idea for attacker. Who am I? Groups. Backup operators not added. Okay, give me a second. I'll take control over this. To make it a little bit more simple, I will disable UAC, UAC. This may take 1 minute. We will discuss this just a little bit later. Security options, and user can control, no. Whatever. I just want to show you that backup operator, when he has all privileges, he's quite a dangerous guy. Start. Starting. All right. Let me in as Wim. In CMD, who am I? Roads. Yes, I have this group enabled. Still, once again, if I go to C drive, if I go to reports, I cannot get in because DACL states that I'm not permitted to do this. Now what I'm going to do next is make the directory say test. I have created just a folder. And then robocopy /b to utilize backup operator privileges, C reports to, for example, C test. Let me check if something was copied. C test salaries. So I have copied this file with the purpose to make backup because I have backup operator privileges. So backup operators are quite dangerous because they can access any file in the system. Now I can get back to attacker machine. That was quite quick, maybe. You don't need to repeat this exercise. The global idea is that some groups have interesting features. For example, network configuration operators. They are permitted to change IP settings, like change DNS, change router, switch between dynamic and static IP addresses, and so on. So this could be limited user, which is permitted to change DNS server, which is quite useful for some attacks. Or say remote desktop users are permitted to log into that target machine via remote desktop, which could be also very useful. Or say event log readers, they're permitted to read security log. So this could be also useful for attacks. Well, there could be a lot of customized groups, but even default groups are very specific sometimes. So you need to know those advantages of being in that group. Next is password and account policies. Say what you see in here, that minimum password length is 7, and I don't see complexity enabled. That's first. The second, account lockout threshold is 0. What could it mean? How can you benefit from this?
Brute force?
Brute force, that's correct, yeah. So you could brute force user accounts because lockout is not enabled. A list of shares, that's clear. And still, we get this information by using a limited user account, not admin. And we don't have this set of information because we are limited user. Yeah, so we don't have drives, trusted domains, services. But I wanted to show you how much information could be dumped from an old system, even if you're a limited user. Sometimes you could use a command line, such as, for example, this is victim machine, and I'm logged in as limited user. Okay, go command line. Net user enumerates users from local machine. Net user / domain enumerates user accounts from domain controller. And this could be also useful for attacks. Again, before you escalate privileges to system or admin, in many cases, first you hack into limited user account, and then you can dump a lot of information from domain controller, local machine, and so on, and other computers as well. So that was an example. Yeah.
If I may ask, the robocopy command is default application in Windows or some external tool?
That's default built-in.
Thank you.
And that was where's my web? The syntax, robocopy /b. Okay, basically this is it for NetBIOS enumeration. you need to practice a little bit to figure out if this is useful or not. But again, you need to memorize some NetBIOS commands, such as netuser, netview, netuse. And yes, you can do it easily from command line like this. Net ? And you see options, and then net help user, and it discusses what options are available for this specific subcommand net user. Next is SNMP. Question: do you use SNMP in your network?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And there's one more question, which is totally different. Do you have SNMP enabled devices in your network? Do you see the difference? Do you use and do you have devices? So in many cases, there are SNMP enabled devices on the network, and we just simply don't pay attention. But is it good or bad? Let's check. So as you might see, there are examples for SNMP work and Nmap. This is your homework. What we could try is SNMP check in Kali, and I will show you just two tools. The first tool is how to figure out if SNMP is around. Very simple. On attacker machine, you could go to Peter Tools, CH course, SNScan, and run SNScan. This is a very simple tool, very basic one. The idea is that this tool is able to easily detect devices which run SNMP with default settings. Just simply select range, click scan, and this is it. So now you see that router is SNMP enabled, and you will see the main controller is SNMP enabled. This is not default option. I have enabled SNMP before the lecture. Remote machines are also SNMP enabled. You could easily understand this by checking boot. If you see this percentage, it means that device is SNMP enabled. Typically, we monitor switches, hypervisors, storages, routers, and other devices with SNMP. Well, one more way to figure out, because you see, I did it with the default port and the default community string. One more way to figure out that SNMP is running in your network is Wireshark. Wireshark is really good at it. So you just simply sniff for the network, and you see the very first packets that router comes to the main controller with SNMP request with specific MIPS. Okay, good. So what else? Wireshark has decoded that this is SNMP based on port. What if port has changed? You just simply try finding clear text conversation, and you will see. In this case, public is kinda password. So in case admin changes this password from public to something secret, you will easily find it in traffic. Even if admin changes the port for SNMP, it's not that hard to figure out that this is exactly SNMP protocol. So you will see requests and responses on UDP, say in this case port 161, but even with customized port and customized password, this traffic has specific patterns. So you could find out that some custom protocol actually is SNMP. And this is how, in many cases, they actually sniff for admin passwords, because SNMP Could be, it's not necessary, but could be admin account enabled. If you go to victim machine, if you check doot, if you check, for example, settings of a router, just for instance, you will see SNMP profile. What is it? Services. There should be some profile. I don't remember. What is it? Yeah. And look at this. So it has some password built in, probably. So even from tools like doot, you could dump passwords and get access to specific devices. Okay, so the first exercise was very simple: to launch SNScan and discover that there are two SNMP-enabled devices with default settings, or say sniff it with Wireshark, and this is it. So you sniffed it. Next is Kali. Now we have figured out that the main controller is SNMP enabled. I'm going to Kali, and I will launch SNMP-check. So when I'm typing, please do the same, SNMP-check, and tell me if you have this script on your Kali, because I totally forgot to update Kali on OneDrive yesterday. Come on.
It is there.
It is there. Okay, good. So just target, for example, the router or the main controller is the best choice in this case. And let's discuss what's so special in the output. So I'm scrolling up to the very top, the output. Okay, I'm ready. So that was the beginning, the very beginning, and how much data I was able to dump from the main controller. First, what's interesting is user accounts. Basically, even this information is interesting. Yes, by the way. For example, the name of the domain and host name could be important for some hacks. So a list of user accounts, good. A list of network interfaces, network cards. Okay, good. For example, this one. Next is IP addresses and routing table and listening ports. So as you might see, you don't even need to scan for ports. You just simply send a request to SNMP and you see all the ports running on that system. Including UDP, such as IPsec, such as SNMP, such as NTP. Well, good. I don't know what's the meaning of those. Don't know. But this was quite good already. So I'm scrolling down to the end of the output. Again, listening ports. 53 DNS UDP. 67. In this case, this is DHCP relay. Kerberos, NetBIOS, LDAP, and don't remember what was that. A list of network services could be really useful because some services are just simply useful for hacking. Some services may tell you that this computer is sandboxed or virtualized. For example, somewhere here, I see that VirtualBox guest edition service is running. So this system is virtualized within VirtualBox. A list of running processes where you can figure out antivirus running, some IDS system, a list of services again running, and somebody is logged in. because Explorer exe is running. Information about disks. Information about devices, enabled devices, and a list of installed software. List of shares. Okay, so that was quite good because I dumped it anonymously. I don't consider that running SNMP with default settings is like authentication. I'm connected to port 161 with default community string public, and this is it. I've dumped everything. Any questions so far about this? In many cases, SMTP, you know what? Let me Google this. In many cases, not SMTP, SNMP was used to hack into cheap routers. SNMP router hack. And you might find a lot of information about how to hack routers with SNMP, but the most funny that if you know the community string, such as some specific community string, from some modules of routers, you could request the username and the password of router management and the password of wireless, because some developers, those router developers, decided to keep sensitive information such as wireless password in SNMP database. I don't know why, but I read it was so funny. So just simply send request and get password in clear text in response. But if you want, this could be your homework. Next. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about one more NetBIOS enumeration tool, Hyena. I would like to show you in the context of working with domain controllers. So let me show you two tools which are domain controller specific ones. So I will install this tool directly on domain controller just to speed up the process. So on domain controller, I'm going to Peter Tools. You could try as well. This is not a must, but this tool is mentioned in the material, so that's why it's a good idea to get familiar just a little bit. So I'm going to domain controller. On domain controller, I'm navigating to Peer Tools. In Peer Tools, I'm going to CEHv13, and there is Hyena. It wants to be installed. Okay, go. Okay, it's installed. There is no hurry, so you don't need to go quickly install something. I would like to show you how it looks like. So just simply show it. So Hyena is designed as admin tool. No updates, no anything. I'm just simply skipping registration, everything. So Hyena represents a lot of interesting stuff in GUI directly, so you could explore the state of your Active Directory domain and specifically the domain controller. You see a list of groups, users, shares, distributed file system volumes, if exists. What's interesting for me is like services, a list of installed and running services, and event logs. This tool knows specific Active Directory related log files. And sometimes even more important, user rights. So user rights are different from access permissions. That access permissions are assigned on files, registry keys, services, memory objects. User rights are generalized rights in the system, such as who is permitted to change the system time. This is very important user right, because if you screw the clock, you screw the audit, so audit records will be wrong. And also, if you screw the clock, encryption may not work, and say SSL may not work, Kerberos may not work, and you could lower the security of the system if you screw the clock. So maybe the system will degrade security protocols such as NTLM version 2 to NTLM version 1. Or say set debug privilege as to debug programs to attach a debugger to memory module and dump content of memory, which is actually in use by Mimikatz. Who is permitted to perform backups? It's not necessary to be backup operator. You just simply add users here, and you will be able to copy files with ignoring access control lists. Or say who is permitted to log on a service or bad job. Who is permitted to set environment variables, such as temp. Who is permitted to turn off the computer. Who is permitted to forcibly take ownership of objects. Forcibly. So if you don't have access control list permitting you to access some file, you could take it in ownership, and so on. Well, you need to read maybe more carefully if you're interested in this part of hacking. Currently, I just wanted to show you that there are tools which enumerate a lot of stuff directly in a single window. So this is it, including domain, structure. Okay, you could use different utilites and tools, yeah, of course, but this tool does it in a single window. And one more tool to get familiar with as sysinternal's AZ Explorer. Let me show you an idea. So if you go to specific website, www.sysinternals.com, you will find a lot of interesting information from Windows developers. A minute. So it is updated regularly. It's frequently posting something new, and there are a lot of tools to be downloaded from this website, and a lot of tools which have training sessions to work with. Or say if you go to livesysinternals.com, you may find those tools directly in the list. And the tool I'm talking about is AD Explorer, Active Directory Explorer. Go, run. This tool is specific in the following way. It utilizes LDAP protocol to connect to Active Directory. So where is my download? This is it? Come on, babe. Open. So you might think that, okay, this is one more tool which manages Active Directory. Yes, but it utilizes LDAP protocol, which could be important. By this, you could perform enumeration, just not via NetBIOS, but via LDAP. Let me show you once again this website. So www.CEHv13.com. Now it looks much better in modern browser. I strongly recommend you to get familiar with sysinternals, because this is a must for everybody, for any guy in infrastructure, for admins, sometimes for developers, and for hackers. That's for sure, 100% sure. And there are different kinds of utilites, such as process security utilites, or say PS tools, a set of process utilites which execute processes remotely. Say I'm using PS exec every day, and it looks like this. PS exec, the computer name, say cmdxz, or say PowerShell -command get HTTPS something, download something. So this command will be executed on the remote PC, or just simply GP update. This is for everyday use. You will be asked on exam on some of those tools. That's for sure. And also, let me recommend you a book for beginners, which is sysinternals book. And say I have this one. This should be the latest one. Again, this is for beginners, but it is a good start. Talking about one more book, which is Windows Internals, which is not any the same. There are part 1 and part 2. This book describes how Windows is built, the architecture of the system. Very complicated, actually, book. Hard to understand, but mostly for developers and some infrastructure admins. So this is a must. This is very optional. And what's a must is to get familiar with PS tools, and basically with all sysinternals tools. Yeah. Just for instance, if you check my tools on peer tools disks, you will find sysinternals folder where I have downloaded some of those tools for hacking. So you do it for hacking, actually. I'm going to the next exercise. Yeah, so AD Explorer is mentioned as one of LDAP enumeration tools. I will skip this one at the moment. SMTP, I was talking about this yesterday, so I can skip this already. DNS enumeration also was discussed yesterday, so I'm skipping this. Maybe some homework for you, but I'm skipping. IPsec we will discuss, I think, tomorrow. We will build an IPsec policy. So that's why I'm skipping. SMB is done. Countermeasures. What we can do to lower the impact of enumeration. SNMP, if you don't need SNMP, just disable it if you don't use it. If you can change community string and port, you see, this is security by obscurity. Still, you know that you can sniff this traffic in Wireshark and figure out the password. If you can manage to upgrade to SNMP version 3 and enable certificates, could be. My understanding is that this is quite complicated tasks, and also I have tried some years ago, and we have figured out that SNMP version 3 requires significant processing power, and our devices were unable to handle it. Just as simple. I don't know why, but just simply devices were stuck at 100% CPU, and this is it. So maybe you'll have better luck. LDAP. This is important part of the network because LDAP is utilized by domain controllers and third-party systems. The typical use case, I have the Active Directory domain controller and the user database in Windows domain controller. This is called NTDS, Windows NT domain services, and the user accounts in here, like this. And third-party systems could be, for instance, an email server such as Zimbra. If you want to authenticate users on Linux Zimbra, you may use LDAP bind to connect to the domain controller and authenticate users. Or say if you have some intelligent printer, okay, whatever it looks like the printer, and you would like to send scans to an email, or you need to authenticate users in scanner or printer. So you also need LDAP bind. And a typical mistake made by sysadmins is to utilize LDAP on default port 389. This is not SSL enabled port, so you need to switch to 636, but you also need to maintain certification authority in your network. In many cases, you need to have your own CA, so you can feed Zimbra with your CA certificate with public key. You may feed the printer with your CA certificate, and other systems such as Hewlett-Packard ILO, or what else could utilize LDAP logins, and only utilize LDAP as. This is a must. Otherwise, your LDAP bindings will be transferred to the main controller in clear text. This is especially funny when you log into Zimbra as admin with admin credentials, and your credentials are verified against the main controller by using clear text protocol. So my suggestion is pay attention to this one. This one is bullshit, and let me explain why. Let me configure account lockout for you to understand what is this, how it works, and why. So I'm going to, for example, domain controller. Why not? That'll be domain controller. So I'm going to domain group policy. And user accounts on domain controller are affected by default domain policy. So, but also, you know what? Maybe domain controller is not the best choice. Okay, let it be domain controller, because this will affect all computers in domain. Okay, why not? Because all computers in domain have user accounts. So in account policies, lockout policy, what could be the reasonable threshold and duration. Maybe like, I don't know. What I set up is like 8 invalid login attempts and reset after 10 minutes. No, 5 minutes. So threshold is a little bit bigger than the counter of minutes. And the duration of lockout, say 10 minutes. That's enough to prevent brute force attacks. But also, I consider this to be reasonable in my networks because a user needs to have a lot of invalid login attempts before being locked out. And even then, I can tell him, okay, go have a cup of coffee. After coffee, you'll be able to log in. And users typically are able to log in. But also 8 attempts, this could be too much. But this is the question, if this is too much or not. In my experience, I had like use cases when you configure email or Exchange server on your mobile phone. That was a long time ago, when passwords were checked, not tickets. So when you change the password on the main controller, your mobile phone doesn't know this and still tries to log in with old password once a minute. By this, locking you out. So some application may still use old password. By this, locking out to off the main controller. In modern Exchange, tickets are in use, which is a little bit different. Well, anyway, to prepare the demo, I will lower this number to 3 attempts. Okay, just for demo. And of course, GP update. So I have changed the threshold. I've set all the options. Now GP update, and now the domain controller is the subject to account lockout. Let me attack. The attack against the main controller may look like this. Net use CHDC IPC $/user peer obviously wrong password. Once again, and now lockout is in use, so I will see that your user account is locked out. Yes. Okay, what I have typed the right password, password 1. I'm still locked out. That's the result. What about admin? Administrator. BBBBB. Let's check if this works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you might see, this option is not in effect by default for built-in administrator. So if I specify the right password, I'm still in. So account lockout ignores built-in admin, again, by default. You have tools to enable lockout for admin, but now the next question. What is your opinion? Is it good or bad if you enable lockout for everybody, including admin?
Well, in some cases, attacker might use this as advantage to lock out administrator.
That's correct, to lock out everybody of the domain. And admin is not able to handle this in no way. So even Microsoft opinion, as I read on Microsoft.com, has changed. Nowadays, they recommend not to enable lockout, but maintain 2-factor authentication. Like this. So lockout is not a panacea, and sometimes lockout may lock you out. So I'm getting back to reasonable policy in this case. It'll be like, I don't know. No, I don't want lockout to be enabled at this time. So, and GP update. And now there's a catch. The lockout recommendation is placed below LDAP. On Windows, lockout LDAP is not the subject to account lockout. So you can navigate to the main controller by using 3 protocols: NetBIOS, Kerberos, and LDAP. And specifically LDAP does not cause lockouts. I don't know why. This is my experience. I figured out from Zimbra. I've tried to log in to my Zimbra with multiple unsuccessful attempts and figured out that it never locks out my AD account. I don't know why, but it happens like that. So this is kind of bullshit. Okay, let me mark it as disputable. So not necessary. Talking about this one, do not use LDAP, but use NTLM or Kerberos. That's the disputable once again. If you navigate from the same Linux machine, you need to authenticate user on Linux machine. With AD account, you will most probably use LDAP. I never saw any Linux with Kerberos enabled, Kerberos Realm enabled for Active Directory. I don't know. NTLM is outdated in modern Active Directories, but still in use, yeah, of course. So that's the disputable at all. Cannot comment on this. I mean, I can comment. Log the requests. Okay, sure, for any system. Why NFS? Implement firewall rules to block port. What if you need NFS? So still you need to block it? Guess no. SMTP. This is a must for any SMTP, and by default, as I might remember, SMTPs do not have open relay for everybody. Basically, you need to configure SMTP. Let me add one more checkbox. Like, use authentication. Never allow sending messages with no authentication by IP addresses. Use authentication when possible. This is also very disputable. You see, SMB is the requirement for domain controllers and domain in general. You cannot disable it because it's like you download group policies by using SMB from shares. I'm always Active Directory. I'm focusing on Active Directory. I'm Active Directory related, like, yeah. When I look at any recommendation, I always about Active Directory. So this is not possible. Yes, you need to disable SMB on standalone service. Yeah, I'd say, look at my laptop. Let me call settings of laptop. You cancel. Yeah.
Can I ask you, do you have only one me that I don't hear you?
I don't hear him as well, so there's some connectivity issue probably.
Yeah, there was a problem.
We can see you talk on webcam, but we don't hear you.
Probably battery.
Yeah. Still not hear you.
Changing microphone. I'm changing microphone. Is it better right now?
We can hear you, but it's not that well as before, I would say.
Okay. Changing microphone once again. Back to
Yeah,
original one. Okay.
Much
Yeah,
better, much better.
Okay, good. Okay. So I was talking about enumerating my network connections. So you might have like cable connection, you might have like wireless connection and VPN connection as well. So if you work with laptop, it could be a good idea to disable SMB for wireless connections. Maybe you will also disable SMB for cable connections, but you need to leave SMB for VPN connections, for example. So if you go to wireless properties, so what you see in my configuration, I have disabled those protocols on my wireless network. Yeah, so if I connect to some untrusted network, SMB protocol is not available. And also I have disabled all other protocols which are not in use in my network. But definitely SMB is enabled for my cable connection. And I use cable connection for trusted networks. So I would suggest to you not simply disabling SMB and that's it, but think about where you need SMB and where you don't need SMB. DNS. Let me add one more dot in here. Always use Active Directory DNS only. In many scenarios, I saw it many times that some switches point to Google or Cloudflare or say the first DNS is Active Directory domain controller. The second DNS point to Cloudflare, which is 1111. This is wrong. You always need to point both DNS to the first and the second domain controller, and this is it. No any other foreign DNSs should be allowed. You know what? If you have DNS resolution in your domain controller, like this, you could set up conditional forwarding. You could set up in here just general forwarders to external systems. Yes, but all of your devices in your network must only point to the main controllers as DNS service. No any third party in any configuration ever. So that's my suggestion. Well, this is it for module enumeration. It's not limited to LDAP, NetBIOS, and SNMP. There are a lot of protocols which could be used for enumeration. Any questions so far about this? No?
You didn't mention AI use?
AI use, yeah. What was discussed in here is like creating custom scripts. So I'm quite disappointed of what we have in this course about AI. Again, this is only about writing scripts, and that's it. So if you check, not my slides, if you check your material, you will have it in your labs. Like you ask AI, what could be the switches? What are the switches for Nmap? And AI presents you a list of switches. You could ask AI, what is this? What is the port 445? And it tells you, okay, this is SMB. But you know what? You need to know switches by heart. And you know that 445 is SMB by heart. Even before AI, you need to know it anyway. So I'm a little bit, again, disappointed about this. Look at this. develop and execute script which will perform enumeration tasks. So AI just will help you creating script. I'm not impressed, but you could try it if you want. Yeah.
So nothing special is there.
My opinion, this is nothing special. Yes, it will help you in automation. Yeah, but then I don't see anything special in basic tasks, and we are at basic course, at basic tasks at the moment. That's my opinion. Okay, more questions, please. If not, we have coffee break. You okay? Okay, let's have coffee break, and then we will go to the next module. Good to go.
20 minutes.
So you ready?
Yep, ready.
Let's have fun. Okay, so system hacking. That's the current module. And in system hacking, we will hack into operating system, not the applications, not network protocols, but operating system. And there are multiple different techniques. Let me show you. Let me check. No, we begin with unrestricted physical access. That's the first. So for this demo, please go to which machine? This could be victim or client machine. Let me check. Yes, let it be like, yeah, Windows 8, which is client machine. First, we cannot log in because we don't know the password. We don't have credentials. So, but what we have, unrestricted physical access. So we can boot off a specific USB stick to get through the system. Let me show you a few options how to do this. First, I'm in virtual machine. I'm going to devices, optical drives, and mount the installation, not installation city. No, I'm selecting a file of, I will magnify this. I'm going to CEHv13. I hope you have downloaded those tools. I hope you have ever used Hiren's boot city as well. Yes, no? Have you ever heard of this? No? Okay, we will see. So, and meld Dart. So again, I'm going to ISO recovery Dart. For those who work on my hypervisors, the path is D CHISO. Check if you see this folder and boot off this compact disk. So you just reboot the system. And if it asks you if you want to boot off the city, you select yes. Oh, it boots automatically. I can also check what you're doing, how you're doing. Let me see this. CEHv13, yes. Yes, optical drive. You select optical drives. You select choose this file and Dart. Okay, try it. Or just register. Yeah, you could also register. No, you do what? Click devices, optical drives, devices, optical drives. Select the second option, choose, go, and go to this PC, drive D, CHISO, Dart, select Dart, and reboot of Dart. Select CHISO, Dart. Yes, this one. Dart. And reboot from this disk. I suggest you opening virtual machine in full screen, and then you will see start button and everything. So you have some low resolution, I see. No, you just maximize. You don't need to reset the machine. Just simply maximize it. And select start, shut down, restart. Okay, good. What about third one? Okay, good. So next, it asks you if you want to enable network, not this time, but technically, Dart is Microsoft official compact disk, which could be booted off CD, USB, and Windows deployment server. Okay, I select US keyboard, and I select troubleshoot. So this compact disk could be updated to the latest Windows 10 11 version, and it allows you unbootable system recovery. And if you select network connectivity, you could RDP to unbootable system. Okay, in this case, we don't need this, so I select troubleshoot. In troubleshoot, I select Microsoft Dart, this option. Yes, for Windows 8. And this is how Dart actually looks like. So you could read logs, you could navigate to registry, you could manage disks, and so on. What I'm gonna do, yeah, one more possible option is locksmith to reset local account password. But there's a catch. If you reset the password of local admin, the next time he will try to log in, he will discover that the old password doesn't work anymore. So if this is your PC, you could reset your local password and this is it. No problem. If this is somebody else's PC, this is disputable if you actually want to leave tracks of your activity. So what I'm gonna do, this is quite straightforward, and this is it. Just click next, reset password, this is it. I will do it in a little bit more intelligent way. So I'm going to register editor. I don't expect this exercise you can repeat as easily, but you could try looking at it. So I'm going to register editor. I'm going to users, administrator. Next, I'm going to specific register key responsible for logon process. And this is software, Microsoft, Windows, current version, run. You see this path down below. Do you know this register key? I suppose yes. Yes, no? Yeah, okay, good. So I will create 3 entries. The first string value, just 1. Net user, hackster, password 1/add. So this command will be executed on administrator login. One more string. The second one is net local group administrators hackster add. So when admin will log in, the user will be created with his credentials and added to local administrators group. And the last one, which is also important, reg delete CEHv13 current user software Microsoft Windows current version run dash values all dash force dash slash. Now, could you please tell me what I'm doing?
Where you are deleting the traces of the attack, so
that's
you are deleting
correct.
the registry.
That's correct. I'm deleting those 3 registry entries. Okay, so again, I don't expect you will be able to repeat this exercise as easily as quickly, but you will have the recording anyway. So I have added 3 strings into administrator profile. Now I can remove Dart. The purpose of this exercise was to get familiar with offline attack tools. This tool is designed for recovery, but you could also use it for attacks. And so remove disk and continue to Windows 8. Now, the next time administrator will log in with his password, which I don't know. I don't know this password. I'm just the attacker. Something will happen. Maybe you will see something will happen on the screen in seconds. You saw it? Was there something? No? Missed?
Yeah, the console blipped.
Yeah. Quickly console windows were blinked. Now let me check the computer management. If you go to local users, you will see that Hacksaw account exists and he's member of administrators. And guess who has created this account according to security log? User account management. So user account was created on specific date by administrator. And that's even worse if domain admin will log into this PC. So I can add switch/domain and create Hacksaw account in a domain. Well, this is very simple trick, but the idea is you are not doing it like, let me begin from scratch. You need to have some tool. You need workstation not to be protected with BitLocker drive encryption. So you can access the local data and you cannot access encrypted data, but you can force administrator to do something for you. I think this is a little bit better than just simply resetting password, because the next time he will come, he will find out that the password doesn't work. So that was one example of unrestricted physical access to a machine. Now let me show you one more example. I can do it with, I would like to do it with domain computer. So that's why I'm selecting victim machine, Windows 7. It's not about Windows 7. This attack works on all Windows machines, including domain joined, including domain accounts. So I'd like to show you this on a domain account. Let's do it all together, because this is very simple attack. You go to devices on Windows 7, you go to devices, optical drives, and select this file, specific one, can boot. So mount can boot to Windows 7 and reboot. So I have mounted and restarting the system. During reboot, you will see something strange. No, not this one. This is the glitch from virtualization. That's stupid virtualization. Now I'm booting off ConBoot. So do you see something interesting when you boot? Okay, I hope so. Now I'm booting my Windows 7. it shows me something funny. Okay, let it go. Let it go, let it go. Now the login prompt of Windows 7 to appear. I press right control delete, and guess what? I don't know this password. Yeah, this is the main user. I don't know this password. So I'm typing just simply bullshit, random string, whatever. You could type nothing. I have just simply typed blah, 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 and go. I'm in. I don't want to activate. I'm in. So I'm logged in to the main user account profile without knowledge of the password. And it works on local accounts, on domain accounts. It works on Mac OS. This is the commercial product, Comboot. You could Google about this product and you will see what operating systems are supported. And the principle of work is log off. Basically, I need to restart. When you type something in here and press enter, it performs memory injection with the response of success. That's the injection. Because Comboot virtualizes the operating system like hypervisor and monitors memory activities. So in this case, you don't change the local user password or domain user password. You just simply type whatever and it reports success, just success, and that's it. Something could be missed, yeah. From the you see, I have tried to log into the main controller, and now I'm locked out because of the main controller connectivity. Anyway, I will log in as password 1. No, locked out on the main controller, but I have disabled lookout. Come on, I have disabled lookout configuration. Should not be like that. Should not be. Okay, anyway, I will take this user in Active Directory users and computers and remove lookout. I could double click. Yeah, users, Peter, account, unlock. So, password 1. What you miss when you log in with this injection, since you have not typed the password, so you don't actually have access to credential manager in here. So your saved credentials will not work. Your certificates will not work, but still you can have some actions to be performed within user profile. So was it hard by this moment?
No.
Was it too complicated? No.
So.
Now let's play this game in a little different way. Please mount optical drive to Windows victim, Windows 7 installation CD. In my environment, this is 2008, Windows 7. Technically, you could boot off any Windows version for any Windows version. Just simply boot off installation CD. When it asks you during reboot, press any key, you press any key. So I'm restarting from installation CD and just simply pressing any key. We are limited with Oracle virtualization. That's the only limitation. Virtualization provides specific features in virtual machine settings like in here on System tab. That's why you need to follow 32-bit, 64-bit. In real environment on physical machines, you can use any Windows installation CD for against any Windows. Windows 7 is very simple to be hacked. You will see Windows 10 as well. I will show you Windows 10, how to hack Windows 10 this way anyway. So please boot off Windows installation CD and let's synchronize all together. We need this exercise for the latest, for the next exercise. Tell me when ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, good. Press Shift F10. So this is Shift F10, and you will need to type few commands. I know this is challenging for some of you. If you cannot type commands, just simply watch carefully. Should be good. So Shift F10 and type mount wall. So the command is mount wall to see what disks are mounted. And should be some disk recognized as C drive. Which one? The system drive, I don't know. I will check. So dir C, not this one. D, not this one. E. Yeah, on my Windows 7, the system drive now is Echo. So I'm navigating to Echo and going to Windows System 32, and I will wait for you. So the list of commands is Shift F10 to call the command prompt, then mount wall to view mounted disks, then dir C, dir D, whatever. Then I have navigated to E drive and navigated to Windows System 32 folder. Tell me when ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Very good.
Ready.
Good. And next, we will replace one executable with another one, legitimate with legitimate. Copy cmd.exe over util man.exe. And then you can close everything and reboot without the compact disk. It will ask you if you want to replace. Yes, you need to replace. And remove CD. Reboot. I suppose this is very old trick you know already, but I will try to show you it from another point of view. Tell me if I may remove the text. I'm waiting for you, Tell me when ready.
I'm ready.
Good. Somebody needs assistance, just tell me. Yeah, what about you?
I'm ready.
I will try to do what? I will help you. This one, optical drive, to this file. If you have issues with keyboard, just tell me, I will help.
No, I just didn't make it at the start, and I don't want to delay others, so I'm just looking.
Okay, I will execute this one, and then you will tell me if you want to continue or not. This is very simple. Typically, I do it in 30 seconds. So.
Yeah, for me, this is new stuff, so I don't want to delay.
No problem. So F drive, CD Windows, System32, copy cmd.exe util non-exe. Yes. Exit, escape, go, and device remove CD. This is very simple, so you're done. I also will copy on my machine cmd.exe util non-exe. Yes, exit, device remove, and escape. Yes. In real environment, this takes seconds, not minutes. Now the question, what specific executable we have replaced? And this is it, this executable. If you click it, you will figure out. So you click it, and the command line tool appears. So the question is, so what? And the answer, who am I? You type who am I, and you will see. So basically, this is it. So the system which runs from this button. This very old trick, and Microsoft recognizes this attack, and Windows Defender on Windows 10 will tell you that no, you're under attack. This executable will not work. Now let me show you what to do with Windows 10 or Windows 11. I will do it on attacker machine. On attacker machine, let me show you where Windows Defender is located. It's on the C drive as in program files, and this is Windows Defender folder, and there are a set of executables. MSMP and exe is actually Defender. I cannot do anything about this because it's locked, but I can do it during offline access attack. So I'm going to devices, optical drive, select disk. I select some, for example, Windows Server 2019, because it doesn't really matter which operating system you use for this. So and then restart. This will take seconds, just a few seconds more. I hope this is going to work. I really hope, because I'm limited with virtualization. Virtualization could be the problem. Yeah, it boots off Windows 10 instead of my compact disk. Oh, this is what's funny I have received. Thank you very much. Okay, I will do it a little different way. Shut down and forcibly specify booting off compact disk. I hope this is gonna work. So settings, and yes, optical is in the list. All right, I will do it without EFI. Again, this is the virtualization issue, not Windows 10 issue or compact disk or something. A second, it's powering on. I expect, yeah, so I'm loading installation CD. Good. Go. Shift F10, mount wall, directory C drive And this is it, C drive. Okay, good. Windows System 32. Copy cmd.exe util-man.exe. Oh, no, .exe. Yes. And now, to avoid detection by Defender, I'm going to Program Files, Windows Defender folder. Give me my Defender. And rename msmpng.exe msmpng-buck. By this, I have disabled Defender, and this is it. Now, removing compact disk, I will not install the server, just simply, yeah, and yes, and power off to switch EFI mode. Go. I expect this to work. I hope. Okay, good. Click accessibility. Who am I? I'm system. Okay, good. Now let me check the status of Defender. So I'm going to Defender settings in settings, and you see, because the application service stopped, so Defender is totally disabled. So as you might see, even if Defender blocks your activity, it's a good idea to block Defender. That's it. Okay, now back to Windows 7, which has crashed on my machine. Not good. I will try once again. Only. The issue is that everything this works locally, so I need to come in person to this computer and have my system access. Anonymous system access. I don't want like that. I want to do it in a little more clever way, intelligent way. Regedit. In Regedit, I go to local machine. I go to system, current control set control, terminal server. You don't need to memorize this at the moment. And enable FD TS connections set to 0. You see, remote desktop was previously enabled already, but if remote desktop was not enabled, I can do it like this in here. This one is bad one. FD TS connections. Just simply set register key. If you only have command line, reg add hive key, local machine, software, Microsoft, Windows, system, current control set control, and anything. So you could maintain registry from command line as well. So it's not necessary to run Regedit in GUI. You could just simply script it, and that's even more. Let me show you one more command which also works from here, and this is netsh. Advanced firewall. Set all profiles state off. What did I do? Let me show you this command as admin. You don't need to do it right now manually. I just want you to see this. So I'm going to Windows Firewall and enable everything. All profiles are on. As you might see, it's green. So if I have privileges, I can just simply type netsh advanced firewall, set all profiles state off, and that's the result. Now everything is red. So I can maintain firewall from command line on off. That's why, once again, I'm not logging in as admin because I don't know his password. I just simply came to this machine with unrestricted physical access, replaced this executable in seconds, then specified rec added, so enabled remote desktop. Then I have specified netsh advanced firewall to disable firewall. Okay, you understand the idea, yeah? Let me add 2 more register entries. You will see which ones. Get it? As you might remember, remote desktop requires network level authentication. This is not what I want. I want to disable network level authentication. So I'm going to system current control set, control terminal server, and set Win stations RDP station, this one, 2 registry values. The first one is user authentication. It's already set, probably from previous exercise, but by default it should be 1. So I just simply select new dword value that user authentication is not required, 0. And I will add 1 more value, dword logon timeout. Typically I set like decimal 900 seconds. So what are the modifications of registry? Remote desktop is enabled. In RDP TCP protocol, user authentication is disabled and logon timeout increased. That's it. Now I can go to my attacker machine. I don't need victim machine anymore. So you can log on as peer and continue work as usually. So user is never aware that something happened. And as you might imagine, this may take 1 minute to reboot of my USB stick, change 3 registry values, disable firewall, and go away. Okay, 2 minutes instead of 1. So user Peter still works, but now I can connect from attacker machine. And let's do this part together. New, no, remote desktop, MSTSCXZ. So please launch remote desktop. Please specify computer name CEHv13. And save it to your desktop. So you launch remote desktop, specify computer name, and select Save As. This is what's required at the moment. So I'm saving to my desktop like CEHv13. So 1, 2, 3 actions. Tell me when ready.
Yeah, ready.
Good.
Ready.
Good.
Yeah, ready.
Okay. Let me explain what to do next. Right-click this saved file and select Edit. Oh no, open with Notepad. Sorry. You could use Notepad++ if you want. This is whatever. I will select just simple normal Notepad, just simply get used for this. As you might see, actually, remote desktop icon has a lot of configuration. And what I'm gonna add to the very end maybe is this string. Use, oh no, not use, enable CRED SSP support column I column 0. I will magnify this. Format font, let it be like this one. So, and save this file and try it. So by this, I have disabled user authentication from client side. It was disabled from server side. Now it's also disabled on client side. Save and try. And tell me what we have as the result. What's the outcome of all of those operations? So what's the outcome? What's the result? What we have? Any idea, please? No? Still trying? Somebody needs assistance? Just tell me.
For me, the RDP connection doesn't work. It can't connect to the victim.
All right.
Yeah, same for me.
Could you share your screen or?
Sure, I can.
Let's check.
So I try to take control of the presentation. I guess you need to allow me or
No, just simply select share screen and that's it.
Okay, I see it now.
So checking. So this is interactive session. Where is your attacker?
My attacker, I will bring it up, is here.
Okay. Show me how you have modified the file.
Okay. So I added the line, you said?
That's correct. Yeah. Okay, good. Show me how it's connecting. Double click. Go back to victim and let's check if RDP is enabled. Forget it.
Okay.
Or just log in as
Okay.
Log in as admin, and we will see the firewall state and RDP state. This is not admin, yeah. So you need admin.
Will it work like this?
Yeah, that's correct. Password with dollars. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I misclicked. Yeah.
Okay. Right click my computer, properties of computer, and go to remote properties.
Properties.
Remote settings. It's not enabled.
Yeah. Okay.
Select the second part. Let's secure. Okay.
Yeah.
Now try switching back to attacker and see.
Okay.
Try again. Go. Yeah.
Okay.
Now you see the button is available, and you can click it and have a remote system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen back again. Somebody else needs assistance, please. No? Okay, so idea, while unsuspecting user is working on his PC, I'm working in parallel on the same PC, on the workstation. I am unmonitored, unauthenticated remote system. So once again, unauthenticated, unmonitored, remote system, which works in parallel with user in parallel session. So this is the totally new point of view on this attack, because you work remotely as system. You can do whatever. You could launch I don't know, Notepad, and it's here. You could launch browser and work in browser. You could launch Explorer-Z and have the complete session, but logged in as system. Explorer. This should be funny. Maybe it is gonna work. And everything on login screen. Yeah. The start button for system. I bet you never saw this. This is system. So I can do whatever of my choice. Surely I will continue expanding into this network. This is very first step. And it took me 1 minute to reboot this PC and enable this access. So that's why this access is so dangerous. Now I will perform next steps in this attack. Let me ask what? Not this, not this. Say you are deploying a network of workstations or maybe servers, because I deploy servers frequently. Like for instance, 100 servers. That's easier beginning. So when you deploy 100 servers, even 10, the built-in administrator account, do you utilize different passwords for different servers, or utilize some default password for every server on built-in admin? Or say, what if you are 3 admins working in the same company and you deploy 20 servers? Do you set up different passwords for local built-in admin, or one and the same password which you have agreed in a company?
I think the reality will be the same password.
That's for sure. You're totally right. They deploy built-in admin with one and the same password on all servers. On workstations, this is a little bit different because on workstations, Microsoft disables built-in admin by default. So it asks you what's the user and the password. So this should be some default username with some default password. For example, username user and the password of password1. Just for instance, on all machines, especially if you have, say, 1000 machines, it's not necessary to install them all in a moment. You can install 10 computers this month, 20 computers next month, 5 PCs next month, and so on, because you have enrolled like 1000 PCs and replacing them after 7 years, after 5 years, and so on. So you will use, like, if you are working like 3 IT guys in this network, you will use the same username and password on all workstations. And what's the outcome? If attacker can manage to dump these credentials, like key, as hash, so you will be able to connect to all computers in a moment with the same hash, because you don't need to crack password, but just simple credentials. If you got the local key of computer alpha, since you deploy all the computers with the same key, so you will get to Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo in seconds by using the same simple commands, netview and netuse. This is it. Let me show you an example. Well, we haven't discussed hashes yet. That's why I'm like, how to explain this? Let me check my checklist. You know what? We will go to that exercise just a little bit later, after explanation of hashes, of how Windows keeps the passwords. Currently, that's enough for you to see that with unrestricted physical access, you can easily hack into the system account. You can easily enable RDP, disable firewall, disable Defender, or just simply log in without the password and do something like I did for the very first exercise. I modified registry, so admin has created Haxor account for me. And countermeasure could be BitLocker. That's it. Let me show you one more example of passwordless attack. Let's do it on some PC, like whatever. What PC is the best for this? Windows 8 is good. So please go to CH client machine. Go to computer management and create one more account. Say manager or director or whatever, Miroslav Kucka. Manager, password doesn't matter. I'm typing password 1 or maybe 1, 2, 3. Also good. It doesn't matter. He's not admin. He's just a user. And log in as this user. So once again, the task is to create one more user account on Windows 8 in computer management and log in as this user. You could also do what? You could launch Excel and calculate salaries if you want. Activation, maybe later. Oh, it doesn't let me type in because of missed activation. It doesn't matter at the moment. Or say, Notepad will be my internet bank. So prepare the work environment like this for the manager. And tell me when ready.
Yeah, ready.
Very good.
Ready.
Good. Waiting for a few more.
Ready.
And can you repeat how to create that account, please?
You have computer icon on the desktop, right click and go to manage, or right click start and select computer management.
And you said username manager or something like that?
Yeah. Director, manager, VIP.
And anything else or just username?
Password 123. And then log in.
Should I leave user must change password at next logon?
No.
Okay.
You don't need to change the password. You will log in immediately.
Okay, so just create it. That's all.
Just create, no checkboxes. Just create and log in.
Okay, so done.
Have you logged on as manager? What you see on my screen at the moment are two unsaved files, maybe. Because this is the browser. So I have navigated to Internet Bank. This is not a file. Excel document is not saved. So we have some calculations and it's not saved. Why especially like this? Because if you save a file to your desktop or somewhere in documents, somebody is able to steal this file, to copy the file. In this scenario, you have not saved the data. An attacker, again, goes passwordless in this case. So the manager is working in Internet Bank and then he has a coffee break. So he has locked a PC. So Control Alt Delete, right Control Delete, and lock. So manager has locked his PC and went outside to have some beer. At the same time, user with admin privileges or system privileges logs in. So please switch account to administrator and log in, or Haxor if you want. It doesn't really matter. Okay, I will log in as Haxor. And the result, you see that Haxor is logged in as well as manager, who has locked his workstation. Tell me when ready.
Ready?
Ready.
Okay. I'm going to Peter Tools, eDrive, sysinternals, just noting the path that on eDrive in sysinternals folder, I have psexec executable. psexec. psexec. What is it? What is it? It's here. So psexec is located in Peter Tools sysinternals. It's just simply much easier to do from command line. So I'm going to eDrive, going to sysinternals, and running psexec. If you want, you could accept EULA. Do not have more questions. -S stands for system. -I stands for interactive. -D stands for do not wait. Just -C. CMD exe. So what I'm doing, I'm escalating privileges. Since I'm admin, I can do it. And launching CMD with system account. So I'm Haxor. Oh, I know, this is stupid UAC. Okay. Right click, run as admin. Yeah. Now I have admin privileges. Okay. On eDrive, cd sysinternals, psexec -accept EULA -sid cmd exe. Who am I? Who am I? Now you see that an additional CMD window was launched with system privileges because of psexec. And then I close this task manager and launch task manager from system. So once again, I run CMD as admin. I execute psexec with system privileges. So I get my CMD with system privileges, and then I'm going to task manager. Is it any complicated?
No.
Okay, hope no. Then right-click Manager and select Connect, and tell me what you see.
Yeah, we just hijacked the session of the manager.
That's correct. Exactly. You have hijacked the session. You can watch the session, find whatever you want, and then lock computer once again. So this is what I'm going to do. I right-click Manager, select Connect. I'm into Manager. I see his internet bank. I see salaries, everything. Now, right Control Delete, lock once again, and I can return back to Haxor with the only purpose to log off. So I'm closing everything and log it off. And tell me, when manager is back,